On this episode of the Happy Diabetic Kitchen podcast, we're talking all about diabetes, nutrition, and the rich traditions of Hispanic food and family life. My guest today is Lorena Drago, registered dietitian and certified diabetes care and education specialist. It'll be amazing. Stay tuned, everybody. We will be right back. Hello, everyone. I am Chef Robert Lewis, the Happy Diabetic. Welcome to the internet's most delicious cooking podcast. I'm here in the kitchen getting ready to explore a healthy diabetic lifestyle. I want to take the mystery out of healthy cooking, explore some amazing foods, and my diabetic journey with all my successes and all my challenges. Let me help you live your best happy diabetic lifestyle. So welcome to the kitchen. And if you're new to the show, I am so happy you're here. Hey, happy diabetics! Want the inside scoop on delicious, friendly recipes, expert tips, and inspiration to keep you feeling great? Well, sign up for the Happy Diabetic Kitchen newsletter and get fresh, flavorful ideas delivered straight to your inbox. Whether you're looking for easy meal plans, smart nutrition advice, or just a little motivation from me, Chef Robert, the Happy Diabetic, we've got you covered. Best of all, it's free. Don't miss out. Join the Happy Diabetic community today and get my free 7 steps to healthy diabetic living and my bonus eating tips, all free. Stay up to date on new podcasts, insider tips, and more when you subscribe to our free newsletter. Sign up at happydiabetic.com and start your journey to a happier, healthier eating lifestyle. Hey friends, welcome back to another delicious episode of the Happy Diabetic Kitchen podcast, the podcast where we turn ordinary ingredients into extraordinary health. I'm your host, Chef Robert Lewis, the Happy Diabetic, and today we're diving into a conversation that's full of flavor, culture, and real-life inspiration. We're talking about diabetes, nutrition, and the rich traditions of Hispanic food and family life. My guest today is the amazing dietitian Lorena Drago, a registered dietitian, a certified diabetic care and education specialist. Her company is Hispanic Foodways, LLC. She's a rock star dietitian who specializes in helping members of the Hispanic community live well and eat well while living with diabetes. She brings heart, heritage, and tons of practical know-how to the table. And I promise you're going to walk away feeling encouraged, empowered, and so excited. So, whether you love tamales, arroz con pollo, or fresh homemade salsa, or cactus, this episode is for you. So pull up a chair, pour yourself something tasty, and let's get into it. Welcome to the podcast. Hello, Lorena. How are you?
I am doing awesome.
Lorena,
thanks for having me here.
Oh, I'm more excited than you could possibly know. I have a quick question for you, Lorena. Are you ready to get happy?
I'm already happy, but I could be happier.
Okay, we're going to try to help you be your happiest today. So, Lorena, why don't you, if you would like to just fill in the blanks about you to all the happy diabetics listening.
Well, I am someone that loves food. And I was always very curious about what food did to our bodies and that special relationship between food and health. So that's what led me to study nutrition. And then I also wanted to learn about how food can help people with diabetes manage it better. And also, I wanted to know a little bit more about food and culture. I was fascinated with different cultures, Chef Robert. And I wanted to visit different parts of the world and see how different types of food connected with people and how it made people happy. So when it came to preventing conditions and managing conditions, then I wanted to know how that fit. So this is where I am today, doing exactly that, learning about food and how food connects with people and how that same food can sometimes heal individuals.
That's amazing. Now, I know, Lorena, you work with a lot of different cultures and a lot of different people, but specifically the Hispanic community. Would that be correct?
Yes, yes, that would be correct.
And what inspired you to kind of focus on that demographic? Or maybe you didn't maybe that wasn't the case, but how did you get involved with the Hispanic community?
That wasn't really the case. That was not something that I aspired to be. I just happened to be Colombian, and I came to the United States to study. And I wanted to study nutrition. I really wanted to be a doctor, but I loved food. So I encountered this profession, and then I realized when I came to New York that I ended up meeting people who were Hispanic, and they were from so many different parts of Latin America. And they ate foods that I didn't know what they were. So I found myself lost in a sea of different foods. So, may I tell a story?
Please.
Okay. I am a storyteller, Chef Robert.
I love it.
So, I was 17. I had finished high school in Colombia, and I went to a bilingual school. So, I spoke English when I came here because I went to an American school in Colombia. So I did not have but I was watching TV in Spanish. So I was watching this commercial, and it was for orange juice. And in Spanish, the word orange a Colombian woman, was naranja. But the person on TV kept saying China, which was spelled China, which would be China. So China is China for me in Spanish. So the word China kept being repeated constantly along with the orange juice. But the word naranja, which is orange for me, was never, ever said. So I kept thinking, why isn't the word orange said in Spanish, but the word China keeps being repeated? So I created this story in my head. Wow, maybe this product, they are importing oranges from China. So I thought, okay, maybe this is the magic product. Later on, I learned that Puerto Ricans and Dominicans do not say naranja like I said. They called oranges chinas, which is China. And I thought, I never knew this. So this was not, I was truly lost in translation. So this was not a Spanish issue because Spanish was my first language. This was a cultural issue. So then later on, I learned that it must have been someone from that agency that translated the words in Spanish, and they didn't know that only those two countries, Puerto Rico is a territory of the United States, that they use the word China instead of naranja. So that's when I started learning about other words and cultural health beliefs and foods and dishes from different countries. So that's how this learning about other cultures began.
I love that story. That's interesting. So interesting. I mean, communication is a challenge across the world, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. So
Yes.
that's how I had to learn that I was completely different. And then I met people from Colombia. I am from the Caribbean coast of Colombia. And then I learned that other people in my country ate differently, had different words from different foods, and that Colombians are not homogeneous. So someone would say, this is a food from Colombia, a food that I had never heard of and that I had never eaten. So that's also another misconception
Mm,
that Hispanics are homogeneous,
mm.
and they are not, because even people coming from Colombia are not homogeneous. We have 8 different regions in Colombia that are very different from each other. It's almost having 8 little countries within one country.
Wow. Wow. Thank you for that. Well, let's get right into it. So, Lorena, what are some common myths or misconceptions about diabetes you encounter in the Hispanic community?
Well, that would be number one, that we all have one diet. Um, and that is absolutely a myth. It would be like saying that there is one European diet. Imagine that, Chef Robert, saying, give me a European diet. Well, are we talking about a German diet? Are we talking about an Italian diet? Are we talking about a Spanish diet, a Portuguese diet? That would be preposterous to say.
Hmm.
So that we all eat alike, that we all believe the same things, that is absolutely untrue. So that's one thing that I would say absolutely not. And even people in one household have different ways of looking at things. If you have children, you know that your children are not alike and they come from the same family. So it's absolutely the same thing.
Hmm.
Something else is that all foods may be the same, even within one region. That all the foods are bad. That is not true. One, we can modify certain foods, and that we have to change the way that we eat completely in order to have a good diet. I think that those are some of the things. Um, Another thing that I find very often is um, that that fruits that are sweet are bad. And I don't know if you have heard that
I
uh,
have.
that sweet fruits that are bad. And I always say all fruits have carbohydrate, and whether they are sweet, whether they are acidic, whether they are just plain, all fruits have carbohydrate. And how your blood glucose responds depends on the type and the quantity. And that's what you have to look for.
Mm-hmm.
And then people say, but doesn't blank fruit have a lot of sugar?
Mm-hmm.
So trying to dispel and think in terms of not sugar, but carbohydrate, it's usually um, a, it takes relearning those concepts, especially certain tropical fruits like mango, papaya, and certain fruits that are common in Latin America. So trying to say, well, can I eat mango? Mango is very sweet. Doesn't it have a lot of sugar? And
Yes.
I said, well, how much mango are you going to eat? And uh, well, mango has carbohydrate, but so do bananas and pineapple and other fruits. So it's really basically how much you eat of any food. And then you look at your blood glucose. That's basically the formula.
I tell people all the time, find yourself a certified registered dietitian, diabetic educator who can help you to take the mystery out of nutrition and stop discovering your nutrition on the internet. That's just my thought about that. So, what are some of the staples in the Hispanic cuisine that are surprisingly diabetes friendly?
Well, I would say again, once again, it depends on which cuisine we are talking about. Because remembering that it's not all homogeneous, um, and that each cuisine, whether we are talking about Mexico, whether we're talking about Colombia or Venezuela or Ecuador, we all have our different foods and our different dishes. But since Mexico is the largest Hispanic subgroup that lives in the United States, I am going to select Mexico.
Okay.
Um, because 60% of Hispanics that live in the United States are of Mexican ancestry, and 40% of the rest of us are, and I will just say it, are from El Salvador, um, Guatemala, Honduras, just to go through the map, uh, Central America. And then from the Caribbean, we have the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, and Cuba. And then from South America, the largest groups, and I do not want to exclude everyone, but I am just going to enumerate the largest ones,
Mm-hmm.
are Colombia, Venezuela, Ecuador, Peru. So when I want to just name some of the foods that are highly nutritious, and some of us will prepare it and call it differently, um, I am going to name some of the top ones, Chef Robert. I would say that beans, legumes, many of us consume legumes in many different forms and in many different regions. So whether they are different types of beans, whether is Cubans consuming black beans, for example, others consuming red beans, others pink beans, and different types of beans. Beans, I would say, are sources of protein, plant proteins, as well as carbohydrate, dietary fiber, vitamins and minerals, and they are slow digesting carbohydrate. So I think it's a great source of nutrients that I always advise all my patients to consume more of. So I know that many times, many of my patients say, when I ask them, what are some of the things that you remember that your healthcare team has told you about diabetes? The first thing they tell me is the things that they told them not to eat, which is very sad because they don't remember the things that they tell them what to eat.
Mhm.
So the things that I want them to remember what to eat, I tell them beans, legumes. And they're also economical. So I always try to think of things that um, can be accessible to a lot of people. And I would say legumes, whether they're dry or if they don't have time for, especially for moms that are very busy or people that are just very busy, very busy. Don't forget that canned beans can also be a good source of nutrients. And if you rinse canned beans, you can eliminate about 40% of the sodium, or you can also buy low sodium canned beans.
Mhm.
And you can throw them, mix them with rice, you can put them in stews, you can add them to soups. They are very convenient. So personally, I have dried beans, but I also have canned beans as well,
Mhm.
just for convenience.
Sure.
Another thing that I find to be an excellent source of dietary fiber and also healthy fats. And it's a food that I grew up with and now has become very avant garde in society, which I never expected it to be. And I'm glad that there is avocado.
Mhm.
I remember being a younger dietitian and talking about avocado among Hispanics. And no one, very few Americans knew or ate avocado. And now everyone has an avocado toast.
Mhm. Mhm.
Chef Robert, do you remember 25, 30 years ago, people eating avocado in the United States?
Yeah. Didn't happen.
It didn't happen until it became the it food.
Kind of trendy.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
but we knew it was good,
Yes.
and I remember having handouts telling my patients that avocado was good, that
Mhm.
avocado had fiber,
Mhm.
that avocado was healthy, and that it does not create a belly. I
Right.
remember people telling me, oh, I can't eat fat because I'm going to get a big belly. And now we have evidence to the contrary. So avocado became very trendy.
Mhm.
Another thing that we have is chia seeds. Chia seeds came from the Americas, and another popular trendy food. And Mexicans add chia to their lemonades, so they
Hmm.
have lemonade and they add chia seeds to the
Hmm.
lemonades.
I've never tried that.
Yes, so here you heard it here first.
Okay.
So another good fat, another healthy fat. So the other thing um, that that they also enjoy are pumpkin seeds.
Love pumpkin seeds.
Pumpkin seeds they also enjoy. And we also have from Peru quinoa,
Mm-hmm.
um, which is high in protein and is a pseudo grain, whole pseudo whole grain, which is which is it's great as well. Then we have corn, which is a whole grain. I know that it's treated as a vegetable here, but it's really a whole grain. So for those that eat whole corn tortillas, especially the ones that are nixtamalized, um, which adds niacin and calcium, which is a good source of calcium in the diet for Mexicans, that would be great. And of
Mm.
course, chilies in many different forms, also very nutritious. So I would say just that off the top of my mind, and different types of squashes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's also part of the diet. And I would have to say nopal, which is the cactus pad
Mm.
that many of them even have in their gardens. And 100 grams, which is 3 ounces of nopal, especially when it's boiled or it is roasted, has so much soluble fiber that it may lower glucose levels in the meal that they eat it with. It lowers a little bit of
Mm.
their glucose levels.
Mm.
So having a nopal cactus pad salad, it's probably a good idea. And it
And,
has been documented in the literature.
and I've seen Nepal. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yes,
I've seen it in,
NOPAL.
yeah, I've seen it in the Hispanic grocery stores. It's available.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I,
It's not something that it's eaten throughout Latin America, um, but it is definitely something that, especially my Mexican patients, um, some of them in California, they may grow it in their backyards. They have their gardens, they grow it there. They have a comal, which is um, a tool that they use to roast. Sometimes they make their tortillas, their homemade tortillas there. And what they do is that they just grill it there, or sometimes they boil it.
mm,
And again, you have to eat a substantial amount in order to benefit from their uh, glucose lowering effect.
mm-hmm.
It's a small amount of lowering effect, but there is some effect.
Yeah. I just, when you mentioned about what do people remember after visiting their dietitian or their doctor, I had the same experience. I remember the list I was given of what I could not eat, which is why I love having people like you on the podcast. And one of my missions is, of course, helping people fall in love with cooking at home and eating foods in a way that they may not even be used to. And, my wife, Cindy, is going to listen to this podcast and she's going to point her finger at me and say, I told you you should eat more avocado, because she eats an avocado almost every day for breakfast. And so I'm going to get on that bandwagon. For sure. For sure. So, Lorena, how do you help clients that you work with navigate popular foods like rice and tortillas and sweetbreads, of all kinds without feeling deprived?
That is a great question. And I'm going to tell you how I do that, literally step by step.
We're ready.
Ready? Okay.
Ready.
So this is how I do it step by step. So step one, I ask them, how do they monitor their blood glucose? So they either tell me they have a glucometer, or they have a CGM. Step 2, I ask them, tell me everything that you eat or drink in a day, knowing that we don't eat the same things every day. And they tell me what they eat, and I write everything down. I tell them I'm not the food police, Chef Robert. I just need to understand what are some of the things that they do prefer. I tell them I'm going to make some recommendations, but since they are the ones eating, they have to live with it. So they have to tell me what they're willing to change and what they're not. End of story.
Mhm.
Number 3, I tell them, for those of them that use glucometers, and there are still many people that do, I tell them that I like to do something called paired testing, which means that for 2 or 3 days, I am going to ask them to test their blood glucose in the morning, and then before and after their meals, before and 2 hours after their meals, and they have to write it down for me, and they have to write down everything that they eat and drink, and I am going to look at that. That is their 3rd step. Then I tell them what are the recommended American Diabetes Association's recommended target blood glucose levels. Because I tell them that if they are as close as possible to those numbers, that is what reduces the risk of many of the conditions that I don't want them to have. So after that, then once I look at what they usually eat, whether it's their traditional foods, then I give them the recommendations. That is the last step. So I try to stay as close as possible to the traditional foods. That's why I tell them, I don't want you to tell me what you think I am going to like, what I want to hear. But I want you to tell me what you're actually doing. Because if you're telling me, oh, I am having oatmeal with chia seeds and an avocado toast, I am going to believe you. But if you tell me what you're actually having, I can make recommendations based on that, not on a fantasy. So when patients actually tell me, well, I am having a tortilla, I am having sweet breads, then I can say, well, instead of the sweet breads, and I am very honest, and I said, sweet breads may be delicious. And however, they are not nutrient dense. So, but if you enjoy the taste of something sweet in the morning, can I make a suggestion? And can we work on something that is sweet, but it brings you some nutrients? Can we then talk about making an equivalent of a French toast? Do you think you can try that? And then we're going to pack it with some fruits, with some nuts, and with something sweet. It will take you about 10 minutes to make. You can make it the day before, and you can just warm it up for about 3 minutes in the microwave or in a toaster oven. Would you be willing to do that at least 3 times a week, and then eat your sweet bread or pan dulce about twice a week? Will you be willing to do that? I would say that 9 out of 10, most people have said yes to me.
Okay.
And they are willing to do it.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sure I know the answer, but I'm going to ask this question anyways because I really want our listeners to hear it from you. So the French toast is a great idea. I love it. But I'm at home with my jar of sugar-free pancake syrup that I'm going to lather on the French toast. Tell us your take on that.
I don't recommend sugar-free syrup. I work on carbohydrate budgets the same way that I work on a budget in my house. So if I use maple syrup, 100% maple syrup, if that is feasible for the person, and if I tell them to use maple syrup, I tell them this will cost you, because we're talking about budgets, this will cost you 15 grams of carbohydrate. And if that fits into a 45 gram of carbohydrate budget, then that will be enough to fit within that budget. And then I guide myself with the post glucose or CGM values. And then we make the modification with that number at the end. The other thing that I have found is that dates will give a very low number at the end of that meal. So dates seem to have a very blunt, I would say, very blunt glycemic response. So what I do is I recommend dates as the sweetener for many of the dishes that I recommend. So what I do is I tell them to use a date paste, to make a paste with dates to use as a sweetener. And many of my patients use that, and they see that they don't have, even though it has a lot of carbs, but it doesn't have a very high response.
Wow, that's a great idea.
So sometimes I even tell them, use the dates and put a little bit of water and make your own little paste, and then add that. And they find that it's like, oh my gosh, I don't have a very high blood glucose response. So we do all these little tricks to help, just like we do the nopal, the cactus, anything to help them with all this pre and post responses.
And if you've never had a date, they are delicious.
Yes.
They are. Okay, Lorena, so let's get in the car. Let's head down to the grocery store. So what tips do you give families for healthy grocery shopping that are on a budget?
Okay. So the reason that I'm laughing is because, I'm laughing because I have tried to challenge myself to do that with my husband for my patients. And so let me go and give you my tips that I have put into place.
We're ready.
We are ready?
We're ready. Let's do it.
Okay. I know it sounds like this is very silly, but sometimes I have not done it. Shop what is in season. I know that it sounds very silly, but sometimes I have not done it. And I realize that I have paid the price. So try to use what it is in season. There are apps that you can use, or use artificial intelligence to do some meal planning using what items are in season. So when you use artificial intelligence, one of the, what we call the large language models that are available, you can just ask what is in season in August, September, October, and then meal planning with those items. So you can actually do that. Use artificial intelligence for that. I have a budget of $50 for a family of three, a family of four. What can I plan for this week that is nutritious and carb friendly? Use the legumes, like I said before. If you have someone who is an older adult, go on the days where there are discounts for older adults. You can save money on those days. Get your coupons and use those coupons because they will save you some money.
Mm-hmm.
Buy frozen. I Many of my Hispanic patients believe that only fresh foods are the ones that you can buy, and they discount anything that it's frozen.
I run across that all the time.
You too.
With people that I work with, they don't think of the frozen, and I just have to, like you, help them to understand they're amazing. So I didn't mean to interrupt you, but go ahead.
No, I am glad that you're validating this.
Yes.
Because many times frozen foods may be on special. So here we are trying to buy things that are on special. So when you're looking at the flyers, and there might be, I strive for fruits and vegetables. So when I tell them there may be fruits and vegetables that may be on special, and so fruits and vegetables may be on special and they are frozen, and people may not know that they are picked at their freshest, and then they are sealed, and you're preventing waste. How many times, and this has happened even to me, that you buy a product and then it might languish in the refrigerator, and then all of a sudden you're wasting it. It's bad, and then you end up wasting the food.
And the nutritional content is high,
Exactly.
opposed to trucking something
Exactly.
across America
Exactly.
from
Exactly.
California to New York.
Exactly. So what happens is that when you have, let's say you have frozen spinach, you have the vitamin C. Vitamin C is very fragile. Vitamin C with light, when you're boiling it, it gets, you actually lose some of that vitamin C. So if you have frozen spinach, you are just cooking what you need, you put
Mm-hmm.
the rest away.
Mm-hmm.
And so frozen foods, it's really a win for the family. And
Agree.
so I would say frozen food. Sometimes you can buy canned. If you have fruits in a can, buy them in its own juice, and also sometimes you can get a bargain. So
Mm-hmm.
I would say those might be some of the things that you can have. Also, another thing that people may not consider is soy foods, like tofu, for example. A lot of individuals do not consider tofu as a protein food. It's a food that you can mix with other foods and season, and you have a high protein food. It's a heart healthy food that it's good for you. So something else that you can season into so many different ways
Mm-hmm.
that can also be a great addition, that you can add as well, mix
Mm-hmm.
with vegetables, other protein foods, and starches as well.
Yeah, those are great tips. Lorena, we are coming to kind of a close. We're getting close to this conversation. Will you come back again? Because there's so much more we could talk about.
Of course, Chef
So,
Robert.
so what's the one thing you wish every person living with diabetes, and I don't care which community you're living in, Asian, Hispanic, what would be the thing you would wish they could hear?
Um, I think that if you are confused about what you need to do about managing your diabetes, that you should speak with your doctor and find a diabetes educator, someone that can help you sort out the information, the myths from the truth to help you. I think that there is a lot of noise, and you need to quiet all that noise and extract the true information so that then you can make intelligent decisions and strategize so that you know what to do and how to take care of your diabetes in a healthy way, in a confident way.
You and I would agree on that because that's what I would tell people. So, Lorena, what brings you the most joy or hope in the work that you do?
The most joy is when I work with individuals with diabetes, and I provide them with the tools that they need, and they are able to say, I I got it. And they go to the doctor for a follow-up, and some of the markers are better. And and they are able to acquire the knowledge and the skills to do better. And they say, Lorena, I am doing great. And they don't need to see me anymore.
I know. Wouldn't that be amazing?
And they only
Uh,
need to see me maybe later
yeah.
on for a checkup or
Yes.
something. So in
Yes.
other words, when they're doing fine,
Yes.
that makes my soul glow.
Yeah. I feel exactly the same way. So, Lorena, when we're done today and the listeners turn their radio off, what's the best place for them to find you? Now, I'm going to list all of your links in the show notes, but why don't you give someone the best place to find you as soon as they stop listening to the podcast?
I have social media in English, in Spanish, for those individuals that may have um, relatives, friends who only speak Spanish or they feel more comfortable in Spanish. Um, and on my website, they have a way to communicate with me directly that they can reach out to me. I think that's the best way to communicate if they just want to do that, or they can message me
Okay.
on
And
what
the website is
lorenadrago.com. My
I
name,
love
last name, Lorena
perfect.
Drago.
And I'm going to list all of those links on the show notes so people can definitely find you. And quickly, because we have a quick game to play, just you and I and the listeners. But you have so generously offered a free offer to the Happy Diabetics listening. You want to just quickly tell everybody, and I will put a link in the show notes exactly where to go for that.
Yes. Um, I am going to be, I am revamping my website. And one of the things that I will be offering will be 3 webinars for free. I named it On My Plate, and it's going to be talking about how to manage post meal blood glucose levels. And it's really going to be talking about tools tips and about how to manage your blood glucose. And I will be contacting the individuals that will be signing up for this webinars. There's going to be a limit, of course, because it's going to be free. So if you are listening and you're interested, you can just fill out the form. I do not spam. This will not be shared with anyone. So it's just for those 3 free webinars. That will be it. If you want to join and learn some of the tricks, then I will see you there.
Perfect. And again, I'll put those links in the show notes. Lorena, before we come back in just a second to play our game, I just want to have a heartfelt thank you for being on the podcast today. And I know that your message is reverberating with people out there listening who maybe are feeling a little hopeless and figuring that I just don't know if I can do this, but we're here to help you, right?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Well, thank you, Lorena. Appreciate you being on the podcast. And everybody, when we come back, Lorena will take part in the 411 rapid fire round. So stay tuned, everybody. We will be right back. Everybody, we have Lorena in the 411 rapid fire round part of our Happy Diabetic Kitchen. So I'm going to ask you a series of rapid fire questions, and you simply choose your preference. For example, butter or olive oil, riding a bike or hiking. So, big prizes for the winner. Are you ready to go?
Ready.
Here we are. Olive oil or coconut oil?
Olive oil.
Mango or papaya?
Oh, mango.
Waffles or pancakes?
Waffles.
Flour tortillas or corn tortillas?
Corn.
Grilled steak or grilled fish?
Grilled fish.
Chunky or smooth peanut butter?
Chunky.
Me too. I'm definitely chunky. Valentine's Day or St. Patrick's Day?
St. Patty's Day.
Favorite vegetable?
Spinach.
Bacon or ice cream?
Ice cream.
What flavor ice cream?
Chocolate.
Oh, I'm a strawberry guy. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Superhero or supervillain?
Superhero.
Roller coasters or merry-go-rounds?
Merry-go-round.
Okay. And finally, if you could break bread with anyone, past or present, who would it be?
Oh, Gabriel Garcia Marquez.
Tell us more.
He was a Colombian author and Nobel Peace Prize winner.
Wow. Could I cook for you guys?
Yes.
Oh, I would love to. Well, Lorena, thank you so much again for being on the podcast. We're just so fortunate to have someone of your caliber and your expertise, and I just am going to encourage my listeners, reach out to you. And I know that you can make a difference in people's lives. You are making a difference in people's lives. And I know that you can make a difference in the lives of my listeners. So thank you for being here. And I hope
so much.
You're welcome. And I hope you come back.
Oh, I hope you invite me back.
I would love
to be back.
Yeah, I would love to. Okay, everybody. Well, thank you again for being here. And when we come back, more to come. Stay tuned, everybody. We will be right back. Hey, I've got something really excited to share with you today. We have a brand new Happy Diabetic Cooking Academy that you can access on my website, happydiabetic.com. Our first course is up, and it's called The Happy Diabetic Lifestyle Way of Cooking and Eating. So, what's the deal? Well, together, let's learn a way of cooking and eating that's actually fun, creative, and stress-free. We're making managing diabetes delicious. So, what do you get? On-demand cooking classes with me, Chef Robert Lewis, the Happy Diabetic. The course includes 5 chapters, 17 video lessons that you can do at your own pace, 8 simple recipes you'll absolutely love. I'll show you step by step how to create yummy, diabetes-friendly recipes. Smart tips on meal planning, portions, and keeping our blood sugars in check. We'll cover cooking basics and understanding food labels and other helpful stuff. So what's the goal, you ask? Well, to make cooking and eating at home fun, delicious, totally stress-free, and healthy for you, your family, and all your friends. So how do you get started? That's the easy part. Simply go to my website, happydiabetic.com. Click on the Academy link. Start learning right away. The cost, just $49. And here's the bonus. This Cooking Academy makes a great holiday gift. You can buy a gift card on our merch site and gift it to your loved ones so they can register for the class. Come on, everyone, let's get cooking together. We will create something amazing and healthy that you will be so proud of. Sign up now. What are you waiting for? And like all the suggestions that we've talked about today, remember to consult with a healthcare professional for your personalized advice and guidance tailored to your specific needs and medical history. One size does not fit all. This podcast is not intended to replace professional medical advice. The views expressed on this podcast may not be those of the host or the Happy Diabetic Kitchen. Always consult your medical team if you're planning on making any changes to your health plan, medication, lifestyle, or anything going on with your diabetes. Remember, I'm not a doctor, a certified diabetic educator, or a dietitian of any kind, although I am a father of 3 amazing kids, Attila, Dracula, and Frankenstein. Well, that does make me a psychiatrist of sorts. Well, my mother wanted me to be a doctor. Does that count? And if you're loving the podcast, be sure to hit the subscribe button so you won't miss one single episode. The Happy Diabetic Kitchen is made from scratch, seasoned with love, cooked to perfection. Our music is brought to you by the Happy Diabetic Kitchen Band and Orchestra. Remember, everybody, this year, better than last year. This month, better than last month. This week, better than last week. And this day, better than yesterday. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. And let me leave you with this thought from Chef Jose Andres. I always say, I don't believe I'm a chef. I try to be a storyteller. I just love that. Imagine telling stories with your food creations. Amazing. Remember, my friends, no one loves you more than me. Stay happy, stay healthy, and keep cooking delicious, diabetic-friendly meals. So until next time, chef it up.